Hi. Yes, I'm there. Hi. My name is Shiv. I'll be working with you on this course. So, if you can just give me a quick intro about your and what is your expectation from this course, probably I can help you to explain how we work on this.
Yeah, basically I'm working in Java and J2E and I have some 10 years of experience and working in a banking domain. Just to update myself, I want to learn views and then to go for looking for a good opportunity.
Okay. You are aware, you have worked in Java, Spring, Maven,
Yeah, right.
and all those things? All those things you are aware, right?
Yeah, I am aware of Spring, but I haven't worked in Spring. But I have a Spring knowledge in that, the Spring restriction and those things.
Okay. That is more than enough. Okay. So basically, we'll be looking into this Apache Camel and Fuse. So Fuse is the runtime environment, which is like enterprise service bus.
Okay.
And this enterprise service bus is basically is required to provide a certain functionality like routing and mediation. Where routing and mediation is like where you will write your integration logic, and then you will decide how the integration flow should work. So that is the part taken care by Fuse, and it also provides a messaging broker. Using the messaging broker is any JMS broker. Using this messaging broker, you can do the integration using JMS server, and you can do the asynchronous integration. Also, Fuse also provides support for web services, both SOAP and RESTful services, and it also provides certain administrative work strategies like monitoring, live troubleshooting, live debugging. You can do the log, you can view the logs. So many of the things are available remotely also. So you don't need to connect to the actual server where Fuse is deployed and then do it. You can access them remotely also. So basically, it's like a combination of many open source technologies. Jboss Fuse is based on open source technology stack, and it combines many open source technologies like Apache Camel for routing and mediation, Apache ActiveMQ for the message broker, Apache CXF for SOAP and RESTful services. Then it has support for Spring to do the IOC and independence injection. It also has a lot of third-party. Yes.
This USB component comes from where at the middleware, right? So yes. It is on top of MQ broker, IBM broker. It will work, or any MQ it will work.
It will work with any MQ. By default, it has internal support for ActiveMQ.
Default support is for IBM. Okay.
So if you take Oracle also provides a middleware. So they have support for some internal broker that is provided by Oracle. If you take Babysphere as a server, they have Babysphere MQ, right? So internally they support one broker, but they are open to work with any broker. So you need to configure and then you can work. So you don't have to worry that only it will work with ActiveMQ. You can integrate with any other messaging broker. So that flexibility is there.
So is that knowledge of IBM broker is required, MQ broker is required, or not?
No, it's not required. We'll go through it, and we'll during the course we'll understand how to use brokers. It is very easy. It is very simple and it's easy, and you don't have to learn anything new. You already have, since you have worked in Java so long, you are already aware of some of the broker concepts, and you can just directly use them. You don't have to learn anything new. It's like configuration, and you can use it.
Okay. What is the Apache Karaf? Apache Karaf is what?
Okay, I'll talk about that. So normally you have work on application servers like Tomcat, Jboss, or WebSphere. So these are J2E servers, right? So these servers are J2E servers. The deployment model is like how it works is like you provide a WAR file or ER file, and you to your application all the dependencies in a bundle, in a package, and then deploy it there. So there is another concept in Java which is getting very slowly. It is called OSGI. So in OSGI, it's another modularization concept. So where how you divide your application into your own application core bundles and the dependencies are written in a nice way. So suppose that I am working on a database application. So my job is to provide an API which will connect to some database, and based on the query which is coming, I will return the records. Let's say that is my job. So if I have to develop that in any traditional way, then what I have to do, maybe I'll say, okay, so I'll use JDBC, or I will use Spring Data, or I will use JPA, or I will use Apple. Any technology I can use, and then I can develop this API. So development is not a challenge. How I want to deploy it now? How do you provide that API? So what you will do? You will using Maven, you will build as a WAR file, and you will have some jar from your application. Plus, if you are using JDBC, then you need JDBC jar. If you are using logging, then you need logging jar. If you are using any common utilities from any third party, then you need all those jars. So what you will do, you will package all of them together and you will deploy in your server, let's say Jboss or Tomcat. Similarly, your deployment done. Similarly, tomorrow you have another requirement that you need to provide another database API which will accept some expression, not query, and then return some result. So again, you will write a code based on the expression. You will generate a query internally, and then you will return the record. So similarly, you will build another jar where you will have JDBC jars, logging jar, third-party dependency jar, your application jar. You will create another WAR file and you will deploy in the Tomcat or Jboss. So the problem here we may face is we are unnecessarily bundling all these jars together, and then there could be multiple instances of those jars running, and there could be issues with class path. There could be issues with multiple versions of jar. Maybe database jar 1.0 is also there. In another application, it is 1.1. So some sort of mismanagement is there of dependencies. So what OSGI says, it says that if you're deploying an application, you don't have to worry about bundling all this big application and then deploy it. Writing your application, you tell what are the services you are providing, and container the server, which is Jboss views, will take care of deploying those dependencies. So in this bundle JDBC jar, I don't have to bundle third-party dependency jar, log-related, logging-related jars, everything. I just need to define my core jars, like maybe 2-3 jars, and in those jars, I will say for database connection, I need MS SQL-related jar. For logging, I need SL4J jar. Third-party dependency, I need a common component jar. So all these things will be defined in the manifest.mf file, and based on that manifest, if you are aware with Maven, when you build a jar, you will get a manifest, and you can deploy it in a light way. So let me quickly show you what, how OSGI jar will look like. So this is a package that I built. If I open it and I go to manifest.mf file, so here this is my manifest file. So based on this manifest file, the deployment will be done. So here these are some common things like what is the name of the jar, what is the version of the jar, all those. Other thing is here you will see there is an export package. and there's an import package. So import package is basically the dependencies. So I need these many dependencies to deploy this application. So this dependency will be, when you deploy your application, Fuse will first read this file, and based on this file, it will try to dissolve all the dependencies. It will look for these packages, and it will bring those dependencies. Then once these dependencies are available, your application will deploy quickly. Then you can also provide some features for others. So that is called export package. So based on this export package, others will know that I am providing some package jars. I am providing some packages which others can also use. So they can import these in their jars. So we create a very nice ecosystem where you don't have to carry everything with you, and based on this manifest, you can do the deployment. So now that is the concept, theory, how J work. So we need to provide the server or runtime. So Apache Karaf is the project which basically takes care of this OSJ runtime. Okay.
So is there what are the competitors in this industry? ESB, for Jboss, IBM ESB is there separately.
IBM they don't have a direct ESB, but Talend is one competitor. Mule ESB is another competitor. Then there is another competitor, SAP-BO. So these are the competitors like Talend. Talend is one competitor. Then Mule ESB.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mule.
Mule, yes. And then SAP-BO. These are some of the competitors. Oracle also has a product called Oracle Fusion or something. I think that is another ESB. But these things are licensed product. SAP-BO is very costly. And
Talend and all, what the app server they will be using? Again, they will be using Jboss or?
No, they will have their own app server.
Oh.
So each ESB comes with its own app server. Basically, like in Fuse, they have some sort of understanding with open source projects like Camel, ActiveMQ, CXF. So they group together all of them and deploy it. Maybe Fuse and maybe Talend has, they may have some other partnership with some other companies. So they will use those things and then deploy. SAP-BO similarly, they will have something else like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. So in Camel, so this is about Fuse. So we'll learn about how to install Fuse, how to configure it, and what are the things we need to know about Fuse to make it configure in different environments. Today you are running in development, tomorrow you go to UAT, thereafter that you go to production. So in each environment, I will also explain you how to deploy this, how to configure it, and make changes in some of the properties and features so that you make it different from each environment, like ports and all, how to do changes. We will also go through the administrator console of Fuse to see where you can see logs, where you can see applications which are deployed, how can you do live debugging, and all those things we'll see. It also provides a console to see all the JMS messages. So all those things we'll explore. On the Camel is basically the core of Jboss Fuse, where the majority of the time we'll be working. It will be the core component which is doing the routing and mediation. Basically, you will be writing your routes in Camel and then deploying them so that you do the integration. So in the Apache Camel is an integration framework, and in this integration framework, basically we'll try to understand what are the various components or endpoints which are available to connect to the real world. So let's say you have a requirement to connect to file and file location, and then read the file, do some validation of the message, and then send it to ActiveMQ or JMS broker. So we'll see. Then we need some endpoints to connect the real world entities like a file location or a broker or a database. So we'll go through the common components which are used in Camel and how to configure them, what are the usage of each component. We'll go through that so that we can connect to the real world entities. Also, Camel provides a lot of enterprise integration pattern (EIPs). These EIPs are basically like you can say these are like functions or routines through which you can do some common tasks. So you may face requirement like you need to split a data, or you need to combine some data, or you need to validate some data, you need to transform some data. So all those things we don't have to write code from scratch. Camel provides a lot of patterns. Using those patterns, we can do this work. So we'll go through some of the commonly used patterns in Camel, and we'll see their usage, how to use them, how to configure them, how to customize them. We'll see all of them. We'll also see how can we see the how can we do error handling, because whenever you write a route, it's a Java application, there's a possibility that error can be thrown from any part of the route, and we need to effectively handle it, because in the integration layer it is more crucial to handle the exceptions, because other party will say, yes, I have sent you the file, you have not given it to the other part side. Then you have to say, no, no, the file has some problem, that's why it does not work. So where is the problem? Then we have to handle that problem. First we have to catch that problem, and then we have to handle it accordingly. So we'll also go through extensively into the Camel exception handling. We'll try to understand what are the ways through which we can handle exception, what are the strategy we can use, and if we get an exception, how can we decide whether we need to process it or just throw it back. So many things are there. We will go through it. We'll also go through web services examples, both SOAP and REST, and try to build some example of our own. We'll also go through a lot of database related discussion. So Camel provides very good support to connect to database. So we'll see what are the various approaches available in Camel to connect to database and do some processing. So we'll go over it. We'll also do some troubleshooting, debugging, and JUnit. So basically, we'll go over the Camel framework support for writing the JUnits for our routes. We'll also go over the Camel support for debugging our routes, and we'll try to understand how can I debug and troubleshoot, just unit test my code. All those things we'll go over. We'll also see what kind of messages we can process in Camel, what is the type of message that we can support, what is the type of communication we can support, whether synchronous, asynchronous, what are the components available for asynchronous integration, what are the components available for synchronous integrations, how to modelize your route in a nice way rather than writing everything together. Normally people will write everything in one big route, and then it will create problems later. So we'll also understand how to break the route into meaningful smaller routes and then integrate them together using some component. So all those things we'll go through.
Okay. And so it is about Camel, right?
Yeah.
What about ActiveMQ? ActiveMQ, what are you going to cover?
Yeah. So we'll also have a session on message broker, and in all of the examples we'll be using message broker, one in one or another way. So don't worry about that. But broker basically will understand how to configure it, and then how to use it in the route. And message broker supports like queues and topics. So we'll see what is the use of queue, what is the use of topic, how to understand how to get a message from a queue and process it, how to understand get a message from topic and process it, how to send a message to a queue or topic. What are some advanced concepts like how can you filter messages on the queues and topic? How can you intercept messages on the queues and topics? And what are the meaning of consumers in queue or a topic? How to handle concurrency on brokers? So all those things we'll go through.
Okay.
We'll also in Camel you can write routes in multiple ways. So you can write routes in Spring, which is most common nowadays. You can also write your integration logic or route. So integration logic is called route here. So integration logic you can write in Java, Java DSL also. You can also write your routes in scripting language like Groovy. In OSGI, you can also write your routes in another language called Blueprint. So most of the examples will go through the Spring-based routes, but I will also give you some good examples in Blueprint, and I will also give you some examples in Java DSL. So you are aware of multiple style of writing the camel routes.
Okay.
Okay. So many people ask like, what is the difference between all these routes? So it's like performance-wise they are same. They provide the same feature. It's like a more like where you feel more comfortable. Some people are good in writing. Some people feel comfortable writing the routes in Java DSL. Some people write more frequently in Spring. So it's like how comfortable you are in one area. So now Spring is simple, and with the ID you can get a lot of intelligent support. So you don't have to remember everything. You just need to know the concept, and you can get the help from the ID itself. So that is so you don't have to worry like, oh, what is the next point I have to write. You need to know the flow, and then you can write it. A lot of support is there in the ID itself.
Okay. Is there any certification for this Jboss CSP?
Yes, there is a certification. It is from the Jboss Red Hat. So you need to probably go buy that certification. It's the exam that they conduct. So there are two certificates. One is for the camel and one is for Fuse. So you need to buy the certificate. Basically, buy means you have to pay for this and then go for the exam, and then you have the certificate. Syllabus, what we will be covering in the class is almost what they ask in the exam.
Is it just like an admin job, this one, or is it a different kind of?
No. It's a development job. It's not admin job. You will be doing some development. So and it's an architect job also. So if you are working on higher level, then probably you need to understand Camel in such a way that you can support your team to suggest something for your team. You can define the architect, and you can give a high level design that how it should work. Then the other team members can write the routes. Or if you are going to write the routes, then also it's useful.
Okay.
Plus, if you are interested or if you want more hold on Fuse, then it is also useful for you as an administrator also. You know how to install it, how to configure it, how to change settings in runtime, how to do things in the runtime, how to monitor it. So all those things are there in Fuse. So if you are more interested, then also you can do that and take care of other admin aspect also.
But you'll be covering these things in this topic also, right? In this,
Yeah, we'll be covering. We'll be seeing how to use console, admin console of Fuse to do all those things.
Okay. In the heading you mentioned it's a Fuse intro and basic. So it is only a basic, this one?
No, this is the topic that we will be covering. So this is like a lot of topics are here. This is just one file to give me some pointer. Because when we are discussing, we may miss something, right? This is a pointer file for me to tell you what are the things we'll be covering.
Okay.
We have a syllabus, right? This is not a syllabus. This is just a pointer for me to explain what are the things we'll be covering.
Oh. Okay. The other list of topics that we'll be covering in this, so that I can check whether everything is covered or anything is sort of.
Yeah. So Shiva will give you the syllabus, or maybe I can open it here also.
Okay. Apart from this, anything is there for advanced or something like that? Nothing is there, right? Everything is
No,
But
there's
they have to
nothing
put
like advanced. So what we'll be covering is, if you can see my screen, so we'll cover about the installation of views, and then we'll also learn about some of the commands. Okay. Then we'll talk about introduction to Camel, where we'll go over the IP patterns and some demo. Then we'll also learn about some of the expression language used in Camel. Then we'll also talk about message transformation. So message transformation is the most important topic in Camel. Basically, why people use any integration engine or interface or ESB is because they have issues in the data. So suppose that you have system A and system B. System A only accepts data in XML, but system B sends as a CSV, right? So if system A and system B has to talk, then if system B directly sends message to A, it will not work because it can only send CSV file, but the system A is only expecting a XML file. So then that's why people need integration, because they may be old system, they would have been written 20 years back, but they are good systems which are still in use. So now they have to be integrated for some other work. Then the problem comes. So as a interface engine expert or as a routing expert or as an integration expert, your job will be to provide a solution to integrate system A and B. So what you need to do is you need to provide a strategy to do the data transformation. So you need to convert this CSV into XML. Or you need to convert this XML A format into XML B format. Right? So most of the time the issue integration is required because there is a mismatch in the data model. So we'll give a lot of focus on understanding what is the transformation available, message transformation available in Camel. How can I change one XML into another XML? How can I change the data using my Java code? How can I change my data using some of the components provided by Camel? How can I use some template engines?
All this will be done using Java or any other scripting language, or any GUI is available in Fuse ESB?
Sorry, GUI?
All these will be done through a program or any scripting language, new scripting languages, or Java?
No, you can use Java, and also Camel provides some component. You don't have to write any code for them. You can use those components and do the transformation. So let's say you want to apply XSLT on an XML message. So you don't have to write a code to apply an XSLT. Camel provides a component. You just give the name of the XSLT, it will apply on the message.
There is a Kafka and those things are there. Will it come under this one, or is it a separate concept?
Which one? Kafka.
Apache Kafka.
No, that is a separate thing. It's not. Camel has support for Kafka. If you have any system where Kafka is installed, then you can connect to it. Kafka is mostly like a distributed, it's a distributed system. So Camel has support for it. There is a component in Camel to connect to Kafka, but the Kafka is a separate topic from this.
Kafka is a different topic. I said, okay.
Yeah, it's a separate topic. It's not in the syllabus.
So
you can say Kafka is a distributed broker. So it's like ActiveMQ has good support for concurrency and all, but suppose that you want to do millions of transactions per minute, then ActiveMQ may not be able to sustain that load. So because ActiveMQ is like a centralized broker server. So in one place you install a message broker and then you do all the work. What you can also do, you can make a cluster of ActiveMQ and then you can distribute the load. But think of situations like people logging into Facebook where they're giving ads for each custom user with a customization. Or think of LinkedIn where you log in and you will get a lot of suggestions, on the fly things. All those things are not messages, or all the things are not some data in the database. Those are some live streams which comes into your page and get transformed into some control. So broker is not the right solution for those kind of load. So Kafka is a distributed broker, which is mostly working on streams and using streams, they get the data in memory for some time, displayed to you, and then they just delete it. You don't have to store that kind of information. So if you go to Facebook, you will see some ads will be coming on the right hand side. When I go to Facebook, I'll see different ad. When you go to Facebook, your account, you will see different ad. All these things ads are happening because of your preferences of what website you serve, what website you went, or what are your choices. I will be going to some other website, then accordingly I'll getting some other ad. So all those things are based on preferences. They are pumping some real-time data, and all those data they don't need to store for long time because it's just ad. They don't need to save it. So they keep everything in memory in the streams. Basically, they use Kafka to carry that stream in the real time. So it's a distributed server.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll also in Camel we'll also go through the redelivery mechanism. Error handling and redelivery. When we talk about exception, we'll also think of it. We'll also talk about redelivery. So normally, suppose that you send an email, and if the email server is down, then it throws an exception. When you're trying to connect to a broker, if the broker is not available, it throws an exception. So in case of integration, we cannot just throw exception and come out. We need to also do redeliveries later, so that if the broker is available later, we can send a message. So we'll also learn about what is the redelivery policy, what is the redelivery mechanism, how it works.
Okay. So the transactions, how to handle the transactions and those things, we will be covering everything. Okay.
Yeah, we'll cover some of the transaction aspect.
What about the ActiveMQ? ActiveMQ also go in depth, right? And all the topics of ActiveMQ.
Yes, ActiveMQ will have some session. I think it's somewhere on the top.
So Fuse is a separate product. It's a separate server, right? Jboss server.
Yeah. So Jboss Fuse is not just Jboss. It's not plain Jboss. It is called Jboss Fuse. So I'll give you the location from where you can download it. And I'll also give you the other dependencies. What are the things you need to install on your system to run Fuse? Like Apache Maven you need to have so that you can do the build for development purpose. And you also need to have Java 1.8 so that you can use the latest version of Fuse. So we'll be looking into 6.2 the Fuse, that is the latest version. So you can download and install it, or at least you can keep it on your system. We'll go through the installation process.
Okay.
So if you have any other doubt or any concern,
no, that's so basically the Jboss Fuse, we will be covering the Jboss Fuse server, how to deploy and everything, and we'll explain about Camel, ActiveMQ, and these are the components. What are the main components? ActiveMQ, Camel, and then Carafa.
OSGI, a little bit about OSGI, little bit.
Okay. Maven and all you explain, right? How to do a build in Maven and all.
Yes. That thing I'll show you the commands how to install it and configure it.
Okay. So this how to integrate with Kafka, you won't come in. You don't come, right? Will come or not?
No, Kafka is not there in this syllabus. That is a different topic. But you can explore Kafka on your own. Once you know about Camel, you can integrate with any component. So these all the components have a very nice documentation. There is a lot of example given on all the pages, the document component. And you can just, once you know Camel, you can integrate with any component. So documentation is there, which you can see some examples there and then integrate it. That's not a big deal.
Okay. Sorry, your name?
My name is Shivaram.
Your name was Shiva, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. What is the convenient timing for your classes?
What time? What is your expectation? Like when you want to join class? Like what time is good for you?
For me, Singapore time 9:30 is okay. What about you? 9:30 p.m.
9:30 p.m. right? 9:30 will be till, because I go office a little late. So can we do 10 p.m. India time? Is it fine?
India time. 10 p.m. India time is here 12:30. I can't. Sorry. Can you write on weekend?
Shiva, can we do in the early morning?
Early morning, what time?
I think 5:30 is suitable for him. I think so.
Yeah, I can try. 6 o'clock.
5:30 is not suitable.
5:30
5 p.m.
Hello?
5:30 is not suitable because it will be at 8. I have to leave to office 9 p.m. 9 a.m. I have to reach office. Can we have it 5?
5 to 6,
5 to 6:30 also okay. No, for 5 to 6. Sorry.
Shiva, is it possible?
5 to 6, right?
5 a.m.
5 a.m. right? Let me check. I'll confirm you by evening. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
You need on weekdays or weekend?
Weekday means this timing. Weekend means I am available at. Tell me your timing so that I can confirm.
Okay, I'll confirm
India
you.
time.
Okay. We'll communicate to you.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I think we can find out some suitable time.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shiva.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shiva. Bye. Hello. 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 Who's that?
నాకు అలా వచ్చి నేను తీస్తా
ఏంటి
అలా వచ్చి 5 minutes నుంచి నేను తీస్తాను
అలాగే ఓకే